guys, it's Ella. So today I'm going to be talking about a very sensitive topic, which is none other than mental health venting accounts. A lot of people have reasonably negative views about this, so you guys are probably expecting me to come out with something negative also. However, that is not the case whatsoever. My opinion on this particular topic is incredibly mixed. There are reasons I personally believe that it may be helpful for some people, and there is also reasons why it might not be helpful for some people. And in this video I'm going to be talking more in detail about why people use mental health venting accounts, whether mental health venting accounts are a positive influence, whether they're positive or negative, etc. And also I want to explain a few really important things for you guys to remember if you own your own venting account. First off, to explain why people actually use mental health venting accounts. Number one reason is pretty self-explanatory: to vent. A hell of a lot of people do not feel comfortable expressing their opinions, emotions, feelings, etc. to people in real life. The reason being is that they are afraid to be judged, they are afraid nobody will understand, and they're just terrified to actually speak to a person face to face about something which is so sensitive and personal to them. However, it is unhealthy for them to just keep their opinions locked inside and their feelings all locked away, because if you keep your feelings inside, it usually ends up consuming you. So a lot of teenagers nowadays end up turning towards the internet or private accounts to actually express how they feel and to actually be able to talk to somebody about things that they cannot verbally say. Some people express themselves through talking, typing, texting, phone call, a therapist, a private account. To be honest, everybody is completely different and everybody feels different things. Everybody releases their emotions and stress in different ways. Some people also express themselves in very negative and destructive ways, which of course is a very dangerous and negative way of coping with your problems. However, I'm not going to go into great detail on this particular video because it's quite a large topic. Self-harm and self-destruction is an extremely complicated issue, and having these kinds of problems myself and being around a lot of people that have had these kinds of problems, I know that it is not simple. The reason being is that everybody suffers differently, everybody has different reasons for why they do what they do. Some people also do it because they believe that nobody cares. Now this one is incredibly overlooked in our society and just automatically called attention seeking, when realistically it is actually a lot more complicated than that. Some people have not received the love that they deserved during their early upbringing, or they have had an abusive upbringing and they have had an unhappy childhood. Therefore they look for the love that they did not receive when they were younger in pretty much any way that they can, which is not actually their fault. You cannot blame a person for being brought up badly. These particular people need help just as much as anybody else with a mental health issue, and their pain is equally as valid. So do not look at these people purely as attention seekers, but people who have been severely mistreated and been through absolute hell in their childhood, to a point where they felt completely unloved and unwanted, to a point where they feel as though they have to hurt themselves to be seen and respected as an average person, to a point where they feel like they deserve to be hurt, to a point where they hurt themselves, to a point where they actually feel like nobody gives a shit about them and they should just disappear. These people are looking for validation in a very disordered and unhealthy way that, most importantly, they cannot help. So next time you look at somebody who's suffering and accuse them of attention seeking, just be mindful that they have probably gone through absolute hell in their younger years, which is why they are behaving in such a negative way. People are a lot more complicated than they look, and people have been through a lot more than you would probably think they have. I have kind of gone off on a tangent here. However, so back to what I was actually supposed to be talking about. So to start off with, I am all for people expressing their pain, their feelings, their emotions and their experiences through a venting account, as long as it is done in a healthy and supportive environment. What I mean by a healthy and supportive environment is where you are posting these things and you are not getting negative, or I don't quite know how to word this. Basically, as long as you are doing it for positive reasons for yourself. Anything that helps somebody that isn't hurting them even more or hurting anybody else is definitely a positive thing to me. A lot of people have mental health issues and this country doesn't really provide enough to actually support them properly with their problems, because mental health is on the increase and there is so many people getting unwell, there's too many beds taken in the psychiatric hospital, and people are just generally getting meaner, and the mental health services haven't actually got enough money to do what they should be doing to actually help people. about. But that's like another issue altogether. Now for the second bit, like I said that I agree with venting, expressing your feelings and opinions and things like that publicly. Say like if you want to post about your experiences or things that you're going through and things like that, then that is perfectly fine. If it helps you to do that, if it helps you to get it out in the open, if it helps you to tell people that you don't know how you feel, then nobody has any sort of right to stop you or tell you you cannot do that. However, posting certain kinds of content, this actually gets quite mixed up between venting accounts and trigger accounts, that I'd like to call them. A lot of people see these things as venting accounts. However, I see them as two separate things. I see them as venting accounts and trigger accounts. Trigger accounts are basically where you post these things to hurt yourself, where you post these things for people to give you negative feedback about yourself and to basically get you to become more unwell. Like for example, with eating disorders, you see people posting, for every single like I get on this picture, I will not eat for one day. Now this is nothing but building a negative environment. The reason being is that it's not helping the person, it's not helping the people that are following them to be encouraging somebody and leading them basically to become more ill, and becoming more ill potentially means ending up in hospital or worse. I just find that kind of stuff very unhealthy and also unsafe. If you are suffering from an eating disorder, what your eating disorder wants to hear is people telling you not to eat, because that's what it wants. It wants you to lose weight, it wants you to become unwell, and it's the same with depression. Depression wants you to kill yourself. Depression wants you to not do anything. It wants you to become disconnected, it wants you to sabotage every single relationship you've ever had, it wants you to basically fuck everything up for yourself and everybody around you. It makes you believe that you are not enough for anybody else, and it makes you believe you are unimportant, worthless, and that you will never get anywhere in life, so you might as well just end it. But that is not the truth. The reason being is that the reason you are thinking this way is because of a mental illness. So if you see somebody saying things like, I want to die, I hate myself, they are not just being annoying or attention seeking. They are unwell and need to be taken seriously. And in order to be taken seriously, they need to be noticed. Not by people online, however, by professional mental health services which will be able to help them. Therefore, if you see people that are extremely unwell posting glorified pictures of self-harm and are asking other people to help them in their own path of self-destruction, then I don't want you to be mean to them, and I want you to be incredibly mindful and tell them in the nicest way possible that you are there for them and that they need to get help. However, posting things like this online can also be incredibly detrimental to other people's health. The reason that I say this is because it could have what I would like to call a dominoes effect, where one person will document their self-harm and their self-injury or their eating habits, and then it will rub off on other people which are subconsciously looking all the time for other ways for them to self-destruct. Don't get me wrong, it is okay if you find it helpful to have that kind of stuff on your account. I am in no place to judge the fact that that is helpful for you. However, what I need to advise you to do is to keep your account on private. Not just for the sake of other people that could get triggered by it, but for your own sake, as it is unsafe for you to have that kind of exposure to the world, and people could actually hurt you more than help you in this situation. A lot of people do not understand mental health whatsoever, and they look down upon it. And this goes for pretty much any type of venting account and things like that. Even if you're not posting really triggering content, or if you're just posting your feelings and things, a lot of people just don't understand and look at it badly. It's really stupid and it's silly how people like to judge things which they don't actually know anything about or even understand. To conclude, I believe that people can do whatever the fucking hell they like. And if they want to document their own personal struggles and their bad experiences in their life, then nobody else actually has any fucking right to damn them for that, as long as they are not hurting themselves or anybody else. However, whilst venting, please remember to keep yourself and the other people around you safe. Just be mindful if there are other people who are suffering following you. Your behaviours that you are documenting could quite easily end up rubbing off onto somebody else. Therefore, I suggest venting in a healthy way and not posting triggering content. For example, text, quotes, and if you really have to be documenting your self-harm and your eating habit, for whatever reason that you need to do that, please make sure that it is in a private place where nobody can judge you for it, where it can't hurt anybody else. And also, please, please, please speak to somebody about your problems. I can assure you that somebody will be able to help you and not rip you apart like the internet can tend to do. And if your account contains heavy, say, self-harm documenting or eating disorder trigger things, which some people actually find helpful. Remember, we are all different and we all feel pain in different ways and we all cope with our pain in different ways. Please remember to keep it secure and private. If this is on Tumblr, then I suggest using a password protected blog, which only you can access. What people don't know about you, they cannot use against you. Also, remember to stay safe online whilst using any kind of social platform as a venting mechanism. Some people actually search for people that are vulnerable to purposely hurt them. The internet can be a really fucked up place and not a lot of people fully understand that. Now, a private account would be very good and keeping yourself anonymous, especially if you are in school, because a lot of the time people in school just like to find and nitpick things for them to make fun of and share with other people. To conclude, I would say that I fully encourage venting, aka posting how you feel, your opinions and your emotions and your experiences. If it helps you, fucking do it. However, I do not encourage self-harm documenting or triggering kinds of blogs. But I do understand that people do this for a reason and that they are actually mentally unwell, and a lot of the time they can't actually help what they're doing or see that it is not helpful for them, which is what a lot of people don't actually get, the fact that people just do these things and they don't really understand fully what they are doing and how detrimental it is to their health and the people around them. And you telling them will only make them feel even worse than they did before and will not actually achieve anything. Just advise people to get help in a nice way, be there for them, don't be negative towards them, just do anything you can to help that person. Do not be shitty about it no matter what. Even though I disencourage self-harm documenting, even privately, me or you are in no place to judge if a person needs to do that. And we need to treat those people with respect, seeing as they are clearly expressing their own pain and horrible things that they are being forced to go through against their will. Every single person that is suffering is going through their own version of hell, and you are nobody to judge how they are going to vent or help themselves with. If you are against venting accounts, then I strongly advise do not look at that. Click off it. If you aren't going to be pleasant and supportive of what that person is posting, just do not follow them. Don't go leaving shitty comments. That is that person's personal venting world where they are trying to create themselves a support network that they cannot get in real life for whatever reason. And if their account is public and you see other people reposting and contributing negatively to somebody else's pain, aka reposting a self-harm picture and writing goals or something like that on it, which people do actually do, which I find very fucked up, then that on the other hand is 110% not okay. You should report that and move along. I personally usually say something in this situation because it extremely bothers me, and I think that no person, no matter what, should ever be encouraged to hurt themselves. I believe that needs to be stopped, and I will be the first person to say something about that. And also, never blame the victim. This is such an important thing because a lot of people think that because someone's posting self-harm, they are always to blame. Not necessarily. Maybe that person is unwell. Maybe that person cannot actually take responsibility for their actions. Maybe that person shouldn't be on the internet in the first place. Maybe that person is too unwell to actually have the capacity to know what they are doing. You need to think about all these aspects before you judge something that you don't understand. But at the end of the day, you always need to be respectful towards others. And remember to remind every single person that is suffering that their feelings are valid, that they matter, and that they will get better one day. And most importantly, always advise people to get mental health help, because, for example, that person that is suffering may need medication, they may need extreme therapy, they may need hospitalization, they may need so many things that they are not getting because nobody knows that they are suffering. People are very good at hiding how they feel and what they are going through. Remember, you are important, and so are all of the people around you. Remember to respect everybody else's feelings because we are all going through different things in different ways and coping with them. We all feel pain on different levels, in different ways and for different reasons. Concentrate on surviving your own mind instead of negatively judging how another person chooses to survive theirs. Anyway, that's all for today. To conclude, I hope you all feel good today and have a lovely weekend or week or whatever. I love you guys, and you are important and your health is important, and please, 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 if you are suffering, talk to somebody, get some help. If you need advice on helping somebody else that's unwell or yourself, feel free to let me know and I will do my best to get back to you. The best places to reach me is on my Twitter account or in the YouTube comment section. I love you all, and remember to smile and that you are all fantastic human beings, and yeah. Goodbye, I love you all, and yeah.